Ladies and gentlemen, First Amendment laws were broken. That's obvious. Elon Musk knows this, and anyone who is looking at this from a rational perspective knows that First Amendment laws were broken. The United States government got involved. And if you say the former vice president is not part of the United States government, well, you might have a point. If you say, well, former intelligence officials are not part of the United States government, well, you might have a point. But the Federal Bureau of Investigation is indeed part of the United States government. We will get to that. Facebook, Twitter, other platforms were influenced by the United States government at the behest of one political party. Hit subscribe to this channel, ladies and gentlemen, right now. Go to hagoodman.com to read my writing in The Hill, The Huffington Post, Salon, The Jerusalem Post, The Federalist, other publications, and subscribe to the newsletter on hagoodman.com. To my super chat. I cannot do this without you, ladies and gentlemen. Your super chat support is greatly appreciated. Invite friends, family to join this channel. Become a member. We're growing. We're almost at 201,000 subscribers, ladies and gentlemen, and it's because of you. Now, what Democrats, media, detractors are doing is they're saying, well, it's pictures of Hunter's anatomy. That's the reason that Twitter didn't publish certain files. Okay, Hunter's videos and pictures have literally nothing to do with why Twitter suppressed and silenced and suspended the New York Post. Nothing. The issue was not about salacious videos or pictures that Jimmy Kimmel would obsess over if it was Donald Trump Jr. or Eric Trump or Donald Trump himself, okay? They would obsess over that, and they would try to disparage and mock and denigrate every second of the day forever. Every joke would be about Donald Trump Jr. or Eric Trump's videos and pictures. They circle the wagons around Hunter, and that's why people don't trust media, and that's why people believe in lies, or the truth, as most of humanity calls what Democrats call lies. And so Hunter's business partner called Joe Biden the big man in panicked message after Post's laptop story. The big man was getting 10% or a cut of Hunter's financial deals. This is against the law. There are laws against graft and potential bribery schemes. These are felonies. This is not Trump trying to pressure another country. Every nefarious criminal thing they're a part of, they then say, well, another country wanted you to know. It's the stupidest propaganda on the planet. But people believe it because they just want to believe anything that suits their political ambitions or ideology. Notice that Trump, I love Trump, but I just wish he wouldn't tweet or, Truth Social, the things that he did the other day. It makes no sense politically. It doesn't help him. I'm voting for him, but it doesn't help him. But Trump doesn't influence other platforms. If anything, they're suspending and banning him. That you can't find, he's not allowed. He's not even allowed to speak about certain topics, okay? He was interviewed a couple of times, and then suddenly, the interviews just ceased to exist. This is not, when they say the First Amendment is the government getting involved and, individuals or corporations can do as they please, the Federal Bureau of Investigation did get involved. And the United States government did get involved. And former intel officials did get involved. And what took place is they were traumatized by the Democratic National Committee emails. They were traumatized because the Democratic National Committee emails told the truth about the Democratic Party and how they mistreated Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders, of course, was too, either cowardly or, inept or didn't have, for some reason, maybe it was a noble purpose, who knows, didn't have the guts to even acknowledge that he was, Bernie Sanders was, by the Democratic Party, Bernie Sanders was cheated. He didn't even address that. He didn't even address that. Anthony C., thank you for watching in Germany. Thank you. Robbie, hello. Kristen, Eric, Samurai, hello. Mikey, hello. Carolyn, hello. To my members, thank you so very much, Carolyn. So, if I say big man instead of the other, sometimes the algorithm, so if it's basically, I'm kind of just, if I skip words or, use a different word, it's just, there's a method to the madness. But what took place, ladies and gentlemen, was a concerted effort not to suppress, and this is what they do. They obfuscate all the time. They circumvent reality. Gus, hello. They circumvent reality. So what they do is they say, oh, well, you have all these articles. Well, but the files that Matt Taibbi put out, some of those files are pictures of Hunter and his anatomy. And that's the reason. It has nothing to do with it. The entire story about graft and potential bribery, here's the actual reason that it was, banned and, suppressed. Dear Hunter, here's the actual email. Dear Hunter, thank you for inviting me to DC and giving me an opportunity to meet your father. Okay. And then it's information on how you can use your influence on the company's behalf. Advice on how you can use your influence on the company's behalf. What influence? They're always saying that Trump is trying to pressure, but they never talk about his influence because he does sometimes. God bless him, Trump didn't have enough influence in government, but Biden does. So these people are the same. These people are like, this is the thing. I don't understand. It's so easy. All Republicans have to do is simply compile every single legitimate email, not pictures of his anatomy. Okay? All they have to do is compile the emails. That's it. That's all they have to do. This is not rocket science, in addition to what James Comer at the House Oversight and Jim Jordan, House Judiciary Committee, are doing. I mean, it's not rocket science, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, and then Elon Musk right here, if this isn't a First Amendment violation, what is? Then they say, well, it's not a First Amendment because it wasn't government. Yes, it was government. House Democrats were intimidating. What they do is they intimidate through third-party tech firms. So it's not like they're not going to write a letter saying, we are the government, we are representatives, we want you to. That's not the way Democrats roll. They go through 10, 12 different steps, and then a judge eventually says, well, you can't really prove, and so they get away with it. And they have all of media covering for them, and they get warrants from articles where you have loyalists in the Federal Bureau of Investigation feeding information that misinforms to journalists, and then those people write articles and are then used to get search warrants. And then they publish the Steele dossier, which was completely fabricated, and suppress an actual legitimate story. So if every single act benefits the Democratic Party and government is involved, yeah, that's a First Amendment violation. Sorry. That's just the way it is. So, number one, it has nothing to do with any pictures of, certain, regions of Hunter's body. Had nothing to do with those pictures. We already know. We already understand, like, who these people are, like what they're about. Bill Clinton, Anthony Weiner, Hunter. We understand the morally superior liberals and who they are. Okay, fine. It's not relevant to this. This is about a political party with loyalists in the United States government, like people who say we'll stop Trump. I mean, the Durham probe should have simply, it was 18 U.S. Code 371. If you go to the Federalist, you could see one of my articles I wrote. People should be indicted simply on 18 U.S. Code 371. That's it. You have enough evidence to indict people. Okay? But if you look all throughout media now, oh, well, there's really nothing like, Biden's team isn't the government. So if they influenced Twitter to ban the laptop story, well, that was just to protect, the president, the future president's son from embarrassing pictures. No, it wasn't. This is about an overall story that talks about graft and potential bribery. God, it's so difficult for morally superior Democrats to just engage in basic logic. Logical reasoning skills are very difficult for these wonderful, highly educated people. They're very educated, but they completely lack wisdom. So they have still not proven that the DNC was infiltrated. They believe it. They've assessed it. There's a consensus, but they have not proven. They have never looked at DNC servers. If you don't have the servers of any organization, you cannot prove, the government cannot prove without a shadow of a doubt if it's not in possession of servers. End of story. Everyone knows this. You don't even have to be knowledgeable about technology. You know this. No one's going to hire a third-party tech firm to say a bank was broken into. It's like getting a third-party tech firm to look at a safe and then giving the information on the safe to the Federal Bureau of Investigation. It doesn't work that way. But see, again, this is basic logic. This is not difficult to understand. They had Biden's team looking, and it wasn't just, the story itself, the New York Post, and the story itself had nothing to do with photos or videos, unless the photos or videos had to do specifically with a financial transaction. This was a story about a corrupt financial scheme involving the future president and the former vice president and the Democratic nominee. That is exactly why the Twitter moderation team, that is exactly why the people at Twitter, and I don't believe, and I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't believe Jack Dorsey had nothing to do with this. If he gave tacit approval, he was part of it. They knew it would be bad for their political side. They knew that, and that's how they play the game. Okay? And they did the same thing, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. They did the exact same thing. They did the exact same thing after the DNC emails. They did the exact same thing. After the DNC emails, and we'll see round 2 will probably be even more important than round 1. After the DNC emails, after the Democratic National Committee completely railroaded Bernie Sanders, I remember I was the biggest Bernie Sanders booster on the internet, according to the Huffington Post. My articles went through editors at the Huffington Post. Okay? They weren't talking about Russia or the Kremlin at all. They were very, very confident. That happened after they lost. They said they were laughing at the Democratic National Committee emails. They were laughing at them. They said, that's all you have? That's all you have? Then they lost, and then they said, oh my God. But Politico ran a story the day Clinton lost of Hillary's campaign elevating Trump. So apparently Vladimir and Hillary had the same goal in elevating Trump, which he ended up defeating Clinton like I said he would, and NPR quoted me. These people, it's so easy to understand the absurd, stupid narrative. It's such a sophomoric, vapid, You'd have to be a complete imbecile to believe any of this. But we're talking about highly educated Democrats. They will believe anything as long as it's an appeal to an authority. Pony Soldier, thank you. To my super chat, thank you. Pony Soldier starting it off. Thank you so very, very, very much. To my super chat, thank you so very much. I can't do this without you, ladies and gentlemen. If you enjoy these live streams, your support is greatly appreciated. Again, if you want to be part of a newsletter, go to hagoodman.com. If you want to be a Patreon, to my new Patreons, thank you so much. It's on hagoodman.com as well. Pony Soldier, thank you. To my super chat, thank you. I can't do it without you. But it's not about pictures, and it's not about, like, hacked material. They made that up. They knew. And by the way, they don't care about material that they utilized a Steele dossier literally with help from one source was an intelligence official at the Kremlin. They don't care about material that's infiltrated from a computer. They would gladly have any of that stuff if it harmed Trump's campaign. They were traumatized by the DNC emails after the DNC emails showed that Bernie was railroaded. Thank you, True Dat. Thank you so very much for becoming a member. To my members, thank you. Thank you so very much. Greatly appreciated. Thank you, True Dat. Greatly, greatly appreciated. Thank you. Pony Soldier, thank you. And so you have a situation where there is no doubt you have a political party with former intel officials and the Federal Bureau of Investigation, because we now know Bureau warned Twitter of a infiltration and leak operation. But this is nonsense. They should, if the information is true, that's the only thing people should care about. It's not national security. National security has nothing to do if the Democratic Party or Republican National Committee is infiltrated by another country. There's nothing to do with that. You're voting for a different foreign policy. End of story. This is so easy to understand. These are the same people who pontificate about democracy. You don't like people didn't like President Obama's foreign policy. They didn't like Hillary's. They wanted Trump's. End of story. Okay, they came in, Democrats, with a Russian reset. Then they said that they're the Cold Warriors. I mean, you would have to be completely ignorant. And then you get this, the intelligence, the Kremlin wants Trump. How do you know this? You got a message from Vladimir? You got a secret diary entry from him? Oh, we really want Trump. Today was a fun day. Well, I mean, they come up with this nonsense. They have no evidence at all. Adam Schiff for like 7 years has said, oh yeah, we have evidence. They have no evidence at all. They had a special counsel try to just torment people left and right because they lost miserably in 2016, like I said they would. And nobody was saying that. The system yet again was wrong, and it was a complete catastrophe for them. So then they said, oh my God, we couldn't have won. It had to have been a plot by another. We couldn't have lost. It had to have been a plot by another country. So that's the issue. I mean, you have a situation where the truth is now suppressed for a variety of reasons. The truth is now suppressed for a variety of reasons. Could be, it's just a policy we have. Oh, the Hunter Twitter files, it wasn't that big of a deal because, we already knew that Twitter was deliberating and they were debating on how best to handle the Hunter laptop story. They did so because it benefited the Democratic Party, because everyone there was a lifelong Democrat. How many Trump supporters worked at Twitter? How about zero? How many Trump supporters of the Washington Post? How many Trump supporters of the Federal Bureau of Investigation? Apparently not many. How many Trump supporters of the New York Times? How about zero? CNN, MSNBC, The Atlantic, Rolling Stone, Vanity Fair, Esquire, yet half the electorate, almost half, voted Trump. Isn't that interesting how all of media sides with one political party, yet half the electorate chose Trump, almost half? So, thank you, Caroline, thank you. Obi, hello. So it's like, Reed, hello. Dale, hello. So it's like, what they did was the Federal Bureau of Investigation knew very well that the Hunter story, they were investigating. They were investigating Hunter. They knew exactly what he was doing for years. They've been investigating him for years. And it is legal to do business. It is not legal to use influence on behalf, to use your political influence, which Hunter derives political influence from Joe. That's why they have like Clinton Inc. and it's like Joe Biden Inc. You have people who work with Hunter, and they do so because they say, well, we're not going to be investigated. We're working with Hunter. He's literally being asked within his emails, and this is why, for the life of me, I don't understand. I mean, they talk about Trump lying, but nobody lies more than Democrats. It's not even, you can say the Washington Post has 10,000. Like, Washington Post ran, what they did was like a petulant, like obsession they had with Trump's like semantics or hyperbole, or the actual major lies that were told by Biden and Democrats and Hillary with private servers, siphoning top secret intel out. It's like the worst thing Trump does is tweet or write messages. That's it. That's the worst thing he does. The worst thing Democrats do, I mean, we can see it's right here. They're doing business with a whole bunch of people around the world, getting hundreds of millions of dollars, and these people are asking for influence on their company's behalf. Not to mention the transactions that, they had that were deemed, that had to be investigated by financial institutions. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're waiting. And it's like, Alan Harkin, thank you so much, Alan. Greatly appreciate it. What can I say, Mr. Goodman? You are awesome. Alan Harkin, you are awesome, and I just greatly appreciate it. I just can't thank you enough for your support. Really, I can't thank you enough for your generosity and your support. Thank you, Alan. Alan Harkin, you are awesome, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much. I mean, I just wish, I think that the round two, Alan, and everybody here will be even more incriminating, even more. I mean, it's already like, there's already so much in terms of what we know. Like, this is confirmation. See, when media says, oh, this is not that big of a deal, we already knew this. No, we did not know this. We did not know that Biden's team is literally working with Twitter. We didn't know that. And we didn't know that the Federal Bureau of Investigation basically told Twitter right here to beware of stories. So they knew the laptop was legitimate, but so they told and like, how is this a law enforcement issue? Let's assume for a second that another country tried to interfere. How on earth is that a law enforcement issue? That should be the domain of the political party and the electorate. That's it. That's it. If you can prove that an infiltration took place by another country, then prove it. Then take them. Then have Biden or tell Trump that another country was trying to go ahead. Why is another country always interested in the criminality of Democrats? Has anybody like on the left asked this question? Why would other countries who oppose us always point out the criminal behavior of Democrats? Because they're so afraid and they want they want Trump to win? Alan Harkin, thank you. Steppenwolf. Only Rosie. Steppenwolf, thank you. Hetty, what do I do if I'm misjudged? And depends on if it's somebody like in media, then very likely I will correct the record. If it's somebody I know that it's a friend, I'll try my best to politely correct the record. But sometimes people are too far gone, so sometimes it's best to just wait. I mean, believe me, I know how tough it is. Wait a couple weeks and then, address the issue as in the most civil or diplomatic, forthright manner possible. Alan Harkin, thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Alan. Greatly appreciated. Steppenwolf. Only really. But see, here's the thing. That Trump, Steppenwolf, that Trump is not the Trump of today. That Trump was like a fresh, vibrant wrecking ball. Now it's a little bit different. I hope he finds that electricity. At the end of the day, it's like if you're playing a football game and thank you, Reed. If you're playing a football game and they're constantly calling holding penalties on you, at a certain point, if you complain too much, it's going to affect the team performance. Trump is right about everything. There's no benefit in focusing on grievances when the other side is hiding like graft and bribery schemes. Hunter's getting hundreds of millions of dollars. I mean, this should be like a slam dunk for Republicans. This is not a difficult thing to take to like. Hunter's getting hundreds of millions of dollars. Okay? He's getting hundreds of millions of dollars funneled into corporations that he owns, okay? And he's given a kickback, and he's giving a certain percentage to Joe. Joe lied about everything. He lied. He said he didn't know anything about Hunter's business deals. He lied. Okay, that's a much greater and more important lie than any lie that Trump has ever told. And so, but the thing is, Trump never influenced the social media company. If anything, all of these platforms, industries were utilized against him. That's the thing. I mean, you look at here's an example. Joe met with energy executives with ties to Hunter in 2014 at the White House. There you go. It's right there. It's right there. I mean, how do you not capitalize on this? The man lied, and it's part of a criminal investigation. Through that, how can he not be bitter after all? I agree with you. No doubt. No doubt. I agree with you. I'm not saying that he shouldn't feel those emotions. But I want him to win, It's like at a certain point, if you go into a football game and in the first quarter, the coach is melting down and the assistant coaches are throwing their headsets on the floor and players are getting to arguments with each other, at a certain point, the team is going to say, okay, we're in disarray. We're in disarray. Even if they're being treated like they're being mistreated by the referees or by the stadium or whatever, at a certain point, you have to just, like, you can't give your adversary any political momentum. And you can see, like, I mean, even if you're playing like pickup basketball or like paddle tennis or any, you can tell just in like a sporting event with friends, family, you could tell if like your opponent, the competitors are losing steam. You know, and it's like I mean, you could definitely tell when um you can definitely tell when a football team or a baseball team is losing um momentum. And that's the issue. This is about a story that would have seriously harmed a political campaign. It was silenced and suppressed because you did have government officials get involved. And they got involved through surreptitious means, and the official response and the defense as well, they didn't know it could have been hacked. Well, okay, was it true? What if it's hacked and it's true? Then what? Do you just not even what if Trump's emails were hacked by another country? You wouldn't want to know what's in those, Democrats? Of course they would. They don't care. They don't care how it's obtained. They literally made up the Steele dossier. Alan, thank you again. Alan, thank you so much to my super chat. Thank you. So, I mean, it's like you have a situation, ladies and gentlemen, um where the truth now has to jump through a million different hurdles. Okay, it's not just, you can't just have the truth. The truth cannot be in the form of a computer that was where another country wanted you to know. Even if it's true, they're like, oh, we have a policy on other countries infiltrating computer servers. Well, you wouldn't have that policy if they did so with Trump. With Trump, it wouldn't have mattered. But you look, ladies and gentlemen, and you look, and it's like impeachment. Like impeachment is, this is the big story. He's going to get impeached. Most people, though, most people, though, um, didn't really understand why Trump was getting impeached. Oh, he was trying to influence another country. Most people didn't care. This is a different story. And you'll have Democrats say, you can't prove that Joe is benefiting. You can't prove anything. You can't prove, well, so what? He had money. Big deal. It's no problem. It was a uranium sale to the Kremlin. And they still, in their minds, it's just a commodity. What's the big problem? They'll never admit to anything. This is the difference between me and a morally superior, highly educated liberal Democrat. If Trump was influencing social media companies, if Trump was pocketing money to influence foreign policy like Joe was, I wouldn't vote for him. If Trump was with the Lincoln Project, I wouldn't vote for him. If Trump was militant and hawkish, I wouldn't vote for him. If Trump worshipped an alliance in Europe, I wouldn't vote for him. If he worshipped the political establishment, I wouldn't vote for him. There's a difference. Like the average Trump voter is a lot more of an individual than a person who just without any thought just votes Democrat, vote blue no matter who. I mean, poverty is up. The economy is terrible. They say, oh, well, unemployment rate is low. Yeah, it took 3 years to get to where we were in 2019, 2020. Because Democrats finally, when you have Democratic states, like major states, shutting down their economy, and then bureaucrats and media saying every state should shut down their economy, and you do so, and then unemployment like skyrockets, and then you pump $10 trillion into the economy. This is like this is like the most nefarious racket of all time. And it's not like you can just do that. You can't stop economic activity and pump $10 trillion into the economy without serious long-term economic repercussions. Okay? And unfortunately, that's going to take place, unfortunately. Indy, hello. So, I mean, you have a situation where this is about impeachment, okay? And what Elon Musk should do is, get more, not just Matt Taibbi, he's fantastic, but Glenn Greenwald, get other truly independent journalists, okay? Truly independent, because anybody that reveals the truth about the Democratic Party will be vilified. That happened to me on a microscopic scale in 2016. Anyone will be vilified. And if you just promote the establishment talking point on anything, on any topic, you will be accepted and they'll say you're a good person. If you tell the truth about the Democrat, for example, those emails were truthful. The Democratic National Committee emails were truthful. Hunter's emails were truthful. They were actually incriminating because the people, when they say embarrassing emails, why are the emails embarrassing? What do they show? I mean, that's a serious issue. Like, that's a serious question. What is it that what does media want? Like a handwritten note from government officials saying, do this on our behalf so we can break the First Amendment? You have all of these different actors, like a third-party public relations firm, a polling firm. Oh, well, we polled Congress and they're very upset about this New York Post story. Well, that's government getting involved. You have government officials, or if you have one political party, Sparky, vote Herschel Walker. Can't spell Warnock without war. Exactly. That's right. Vote Herschel Walker. I mean, in Georgia, this is the thing. You have Republicans who did not rally around a Republican president. Let's see. So you have Herschel Walker. You have Herschel Walker up 1.4 in the last poll, okay? But it's like you have 80,000 libertarians that generally vote Republican. I mean, if you're a libertarian, you vote Democrat, you should never be a libertarian. Lincoln Project foreign policy, it's like the antithesis of being a never-ending counterinsurgency conflicts. Lincoln Project foreign policy, the antithesis of being a libertarian. So I don't know why you wouldn't vote. If you're a libertarian and you don't vote for Herschel Walker, then what's the point of being a libertarian? Warnock, Democrats are the ones who want to shut down states. And they do so because they say, well, the authorities told us to do so. I mean, it's a public relations racket. Senate runoff is tomorrow. That's right. It's huge. Walker should win, but you know how that goes. You know how that goes. Sparky, thank you. Alan Harkin, thank you. To my super chat, thank you. I can't thank you enough, ladies and gentlemen. If you're, and that's the thing, the state Republican parties, like in Pennsylvania or Arizona, these state Republican parties are not, they're not, they're not doing the same things as Democrats. That's for sure. Arizona was a bizarre one. I mean, Arizona, you look, for years and years, decades, it was red. And then you have Jeff Flake and McCain. What is it about Trump that Jeff Flake and McCain didn't like, other than he was less militant? Other than he was less militant, because Lincoln Project, Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger, they voted alongside Trump 90+% of the time. Liz Cheney voted alongside Trump in Congress, according to 538, 92% of the time. So what was the problem? Then you have all of these like you have these like recent polls. Warnock +5. How can he be +5 when you have 80,000 libertarians? That's the thing with these polls. It's like they don't make any sense. Georgia's a red state. So if Herschel Walker doesn't win, and all this stuff, like whether you like Herschel Walker or not, Fetterman couldn't pass a sobriety test and he won in Pennsylvania. So like this is about political party versus political party. Obviously, Democrats on a state level do a lot better. That's just the way it is. Unfortunately, they do a lot better. They have so many advantages. They had FTX money. I mean, according to Elon Musk, $1 billion. That's not public. I did a segment on that. The public donations from FTX was 70 million. So, but we'll see. I mean, it's going to be interesting. And if Walker loses and Warnock wins, again, it's nothing to do with Trump. This is about the Georgia Republican Party. They would rather lose if they don't have their specific type of Republican. And that's just here. Let's just see here. Hold on one second. It's just interesting how you have these polling firms and they actually do influence. They don't just survey and get the pulse of what's going on. They influence. They influence. So, but I find it very difficult to believe when you have 80,000 you have 80,000 libertarians, and that's also the thing. Where are the Green Party people? Where are all the Green Party people? The Democrats have decimated the Green Party. The Republicans, apparently, how libertarians have grown. This is so bizarre. So libertarians get 80,000 votes. The Libertarian Party gets 80,000 votes in Georgia. Okay, now there's a runoff. So where are these people? Who are these people voting for? The Democrat? What is the point? What is the point of being a libertarian if you're going to vote for just endless printing of money and shutting down economies because very smart people told you to do so? But let's see here. I will ahead, ladies and gentlemen, and definitely I'll be on top of this story. There should be round 2. And so within the next couple of days, there should be round two. Round two is going to come out, so. And that should be very interesting. It could be, hey, I mean, it could be greater, because the thing is, like, all these former employees who are speaking out, they don't know all the emails that Elon Musk has. They probably don't have, I mean, they have their own messages, but they don't know how their messages, relate to the messages of the entire company, of people, of executives within the entire company that Elon Musk has. So you're probably going to get more information on how Democrats influenced or forced Twitter. See, when you have government officials influencing a social media platform, that's a First Amendment issue. The arrogance is that, oh, well, it's not that big of a deal. We already knew. Not, oh, that's not right. Sparky! Old Boy Network. Control Georgia. Hopefully enough. Sentimental. I mean, you're a Georgia Bulldog, Sparky. A Georgia Bulldog. It's just the red state, the red state Republicans, or the Republican parties in Georgia or Arizona or Pennsylvania, for example, these are not like, they're not run like, I don't know if it's fair to say they're not run well, but they're definitely not doing what Democrats are doing to win. Whatever legal, above board, ethical, moral thing the Democrats are doing, they're not doing. So, I mean, they're getting outmaneuvered. Just they're getting their handed to them. So it's not Trump's fault. This is a problem with Aaron. Hello. This is a problem with state political parties. When you have state political parties that Dragon Model, thank you. When you have state political parties that are continually losing to their competitors, so when Republican state parties keep losing, that's a problem. That's a problem. And you have like all of media going after Herschel Walker. Even like the Never Trumpers are out. Oh, we don't like him. It's like, well, like I said, Pennsylvania's new senator now couldn't even pass a sobriety test. Neither could Mashed Potato Brains, our president. Sparky, go Dogs. You have a good team, real good team. I mean, you're a Georgia Bulldog legend and you're a Republican. It's a red state. But, I mean, and that's the thing. Kemp, how does Kemp win by a great margin, and the Libertarians didn't mess his campaign up? So, and I'm all for third parties. Like, you know what? More power to the Libertarian Party, but they're actually definitely, if this is a runoff, you're going to be voting against your own interests. So. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very, very much. I will be back. I'll probably have an upload later this evening or an upload tomorrow. I think that people are just now waiting for round two. So round one was very, very important. I think round two will be very important. I think that when you have impeachment that's around the corner, tomorrow will be very important. If you're in Georgia, definitely vote for Herschel Walker. For the life of me, I don't get how red states vote Democrat. Aside from endless media coverage backing the debt. We had a recession. The economy's terrible. Foreign policy is a catastrophe. So, H-Toast, thank you. Eric, thank you. Everybody, Alan Harkin, thank you so very much, Alan. Sparky, thank you. To my super chat, thank you so very much. Pony Soldier, thank you. I'll see you tomorrow, everybody. I will have an upload tomorrow early at about 9 a.m. So definitely be up at 9 a.m. And then I'll be here for the live stream at like around 4 or so tomorrow. Thanks, everybody. I'll see